And yet everyone remains blissfully unaware, and the grave secret, hidden within the crystals, something something. And yet everyone remains okay. All good. I'm super tired, but, you know, I'm a little worried about how I'm going to finish this challenge, and this is a fun part of the game, too. I think I can probably blow through World 2, frankly, so we'll see how much we can get done tonight. Here's a nice reflect night. I'm totally on today, man. And we're going to see how we can do with farming reflect rings from these guys. I think we'll probably want to make use of those for FJF. They're going to take a long time to kill, but at least they're vulnerable to Romeo's Ballad. This is a neat place to be a thief, because you can steal flame rings. Oh, speaking of that. What happened there was I didn't put on flame rings when I was going to fight a very strong enemy with a lot of fire attacks. Let's try that again. This enemy is also considered undead, I realize. Whisper Wind still works on undead, though, I think. Yeah, we saw that yesterday. Yeah, there's that. Oh, okay. Blood Sword, can't make use of that at all. Let's switch back our equipment. There's not some, like, huge abundance of fire attacks here, so we'll just stay in generally good gear and then be cautious when we open a trap chest, which we can always smoke away from. Smoke is a verb. Smoke is that particular verb is kind of interesting. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm at my best right now, aren't I? Wow, these stun-locked encounters are crazy. Anything with a Reflect Knight I want to fight, but it takes a long time. Now one of those guys did land a blind on me yesterday. I guess that happens when the ninja attacks and doesn't kill it. Interesting. Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe I should be smoking away from the neons. Yeah, this sucks. Ah, but if I land Romeo's Ballad, they don't have their counterattack. Oh, look at all those misses. It's terrible. Okay, we don't want to be blind. That's not some prejudice against blind people. I mean, like, mechanically in this game, we don't want to be blind. Yeah, see? That made it work. Cool. I've got a plan now. It's called Cheese the Game. That's it. Cheese the game carefully when a neon is involved. I don't know that we want to fight this, though. Let's get out of here. Back attacks, you know, just prolong things. We're not going to do it with neons. Not as long as I have smoke as my queued up first thing to do. But I do want to fight lots of Reflect Knights, and this is an okay spot to do it. I mean, this is where I earned my Reflect Knights in my other playthrough recently, so... And it went very well. Like I told you, it was about 10 minutes to get 4 Reflect Rings, which was kind of crazy. I thought it was 1 in 4 odds, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Did I say 1 in 4 odds? Because that's wrong. One in 8 would make sense, right? As a rare drop. I think that's the way rare items work in this game and Final Fantasy VI. There's not a lot in common between them, but I think that's one of the things. There, 1 reflect ring down. Oh, that was a mistake, but it's going to work out. Because we can cheese the game, as discussed. I don't even really want to fight this battle. Getting some levels and money, you know, it's not exactly gonna hurt. And getting some runs helps with the chicken knife later. Super advanced strategy for late game. So what that is, for the uninitiated, is there's an item in this game called the chicken knife. And you literally choose between, and you're told that what they are and how to choose them. You choose between an item called the chicken knife and an item called the brave blade. And the brave blade is the strongest weapon in the game, kinda. But any time you run before or after you get it, it loses a point of attack power. So if you run no times at all, oops, I didn't want to smoke from that. That sounds strange, by the way. So if you don't run through the entire game no matter what, it's the best weapon in the game. But then it kind of, like, if you run after you get it, then you've ruined your amazing weapon. The chicken knife is kind of the opposite. It gains 1 point of attack power for every 2 times you run away. And so if you run away enough, it becomes a super powerful weapon. But then it has this weird drawback of, it has a 1 in 4... I think it's 1 in 4 at that time for real. Chance of making you run away every time you try to use it. So it's kind of silly. There's a few commands that, like battle commands, that you can use that ignore that 1 in 4 chance, and so there's ways to kind of scam your chicken knife. The chicken knife also has a different damage formula that ignores defense or something like that, or partially ignores defense. So, chicken knife is a legitimate strategic item for late game, for beating the super bosses and such. So while I was ranting about the chicken knife and brave blade, we got our second reflect ring, so that's cool. I think I've got 4 for my GBASP party, and then I only ended up using 3 against X-Death. Oh, that was a mistake, but whatever. We're almost done the encounter anyway, so let's fight them. Oops, Sea-Doodle did it again. It's nice that I can be so clumsy here. I'm not even losing a hit point, you know? The Bard is really wrecking this game for everybody. More so for the bad guys than for my team. So if I'm counting on using the chicken knife later, and I may as well, because I'm going to run away more than, you know, a handful of times, or I should kind of, in a way, try to run as many times as possible. And if I run away 250 times-ish, 256 over the course of the game, then I will have a full-power chicken knife, which is the strongest weapon that a large number of classes can use, including my ninja and my bard. Well, I guess actually my entire team. Except the monk, because the monk is barehanded. But it makes sense for the ninja, it doesn't exactly make sense for the others. There's also, I think, some kind of trick with the ninja where if you use it, there is such a thing as a 2-hit weapon in this game that I get in a short while. If you use that on your first attack, pardon me, I'm not handling my carbonated beverage very well. Yeah, if you use this weapon, I think it's called Twin Lance or Double Lance, depending on your translation. That negates the chicken knife effect if you're using it in your second hand. Okay, that time I did lose hit points. See? Not fair. Not fair. So, a Square Enix game called Octopath Traveler was recently released. I've seen positive reviews, I've seen negative reviews. I think some people... It's hard to say for sure. I think some people are reacting much more positively than perhaps they should. And perhaps it's because it is a authentic and somewhat old-styled JRPG by a major company. As well, it's on the Switch, which doesn't have a lot of good RPG options. And also because the Switch has currently, at this point in its life cycle, just a year and 3 months or so, it has no real library of older games. Like the Wii and Wii U had impressive virtual console libraries with all kinds of goodies on them. And then they officially closed the Wii Virtual Console in the last less than a year ago. I was probably talking about it on here. And nothing has exactly stepped in to replace it. Like on your Wii, you could get a large number of Square Enix titles. You could get Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 2, well, 4, Final Fantasy 3, and by that I mean 6. You could get Mystic Quest, you could get Chrono Trigger, you could get Secret of Mana. And that's in North America, where like half of the good games weren't localized. And I do mean half. Some people are aware of, you know, a fair chunk of them, but there was a large number of those games we missed during the Golden Age. We're talking about Bahamut Lagoon. I just said that really strangely. Bahamut Lagoon. Rudra no Hihu, Rudra's Secret Treasure, however you want to say that. We got Treasure Hunter G. There was a couple other ones. Live Alive, or Live Alive, however you want to say that one. These are the things I don't hear people say out loud, you know, and then... I think we'll need to go tent up. We're not going to do more without our ninja. That was an unfortunate sequence of events that happened there. After me bragging about not taking any hit point damage, right? I could also continue deeper, and I may as well, because I think Reflect Knights are pretty pervasive throughout this dungeon, such as it is. And I don't recall if there's any treasures on the outside, even though I just did this. Oh, see, that's some serious Reflect Knight action there. Someone there just got magneted, which suggests that those little wieners aren't affected by Romeo's ballad. That's certainly not the end of the world, it's just an odd thing to observe. I said wieners. That was weird. Well, these guys can be pains. Hopefully the Romeo's ballad actually sticks on them, because I think they have level 5 death, and I think we're all of level 30 right now, so... I didn't think about that when I started fighting them. Anyway, Octopath Traveler. Yeah, some friends of mine seem to be playing it and enjoying it. Other people are asking if I should buy it. The problem I have with buying games, I don't mind spending the money on them, but I do mind spending the time. I barely find time to do this, play one game in the summer, right? And this time I'm trying to do it twice. I played through the first demo of Octopath Traveler, and I chose to play as Primrose, and it's basically all about a whore, and that part was one of those things where I was like, how am I explaining this to my children? So I'm not sure I can play the game with my kids is my point in that. It's weird that that's something affecting my decision, but it is. So I think this way first is the right way. I have my doubts about Romeo's Ballad working on those Gygases. They tend to have a lot of immunities. It seems to have worked. Flame rings. Back attack? Well, that's stupid. What the? No, this is terrible. I don't think we want to do this. Does Titan work? If Titan works, we have a chance here. Ooh, that's strong. I'm not a fan of that. If this doesn't kill the front one, I'm gonna smoke out of here. Oh my goodness. These guys have some hit points. That chest is cursed, I've decided. It's cursed. Discretion is the better part of something something. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. When I started streaming, I was fairly shy about using fast forward. Remember the days? There's also been lots of times when I've played and I haven't had access to fast forward, so. So that's what it looks like when Gollum works. The way Gollum works in the 3 games I remember Gollum being in, trying to think of any I missed now, is that it takes either the caster's hit points or a multiple of the caster's hit points and assigns that value to Gollum. And then Gollum's on there and it blocks single target physical attacks that hit and subtracts that total. And so it takes hit points equal to like either the caster's hit points when they cast it or a multiple of that. Sometimes it's like, you know, twice the caster's hit points or whatever. We want our only person who has magic point usage to have this. So we're getting rid of that Hypno Crown I was so excited for earlier. Do we care? Not right now. Not, well, I don't know. I like Bart's being able to use his what's it called? Romeo's Ballad? Like right away at the start of every fight, so yeah. So that was funny. That was Romeo's Ballad going off and not working, I believe. So I guess it just has a miss rate against certain enemies. Oh man, this is going to be a sucky battle. Oh, we haven't got all our reflect rings yet. We actually shouldn't do the boss. Maybe this nice reflect knight will drop a reflect ring for us. Well, these guys don't have anything for us, so reflect knight does. So there is some question with the boss that's coming up, which is Atomos, who we won't see again until Final Fantasy IX. Should I kill a party member before we start that battle? Where the reason you do that, or think about doing that, is you at least get to control who's sitting out while he tries to suck in your party members. That, again, the first time I used Romeo's Ballad there, it didn't hit the Gygas, who you might remember me saying earlier. I think those guys are loaded with resistances, so... Early in the Final Fantasy series, the giants were treated a lot more like mythological or D&D type giants, like they were significant. Giants weren't hard to beat in the original Final Fantasy, but I think they were considered floating, which was unusual, and they gave a lot of money, a great deal of money, but there's otherwise not very much special about them, I guess. Resistances were kind of funny in that game. There was basically one bit in the game for each enemy that indicated whether it was status immune or not, putting it simply. So I don't know whether I'm going to get Octopath Traveler or not. It seems like a not right now thing. There's this problem where there are more games I want than games I can find time to play. And when I get time to play games, I often want to play something familiar. My son and I will go back to Minecraft, we'll go back to Breath of the Wild. And those are kind of our two big time sinks. I'll play something like this if I'm streaming or whatever else I might be doing. So I don't know. It's not that I hate new games. It's that I don't find myself having the time. And it's funny because this is my summertime. I'm super dupe. Oh, whoops! There was a reflect knight there. I should have fought. I should have fought him, but instead I let him. Instead I smoked. It's very appropriate. So I was singing there a little lyric from part of the Flaming Lips song, and I'm like, wow, they'd probably really encourage me smoking in front of the enemies. That seems about right. Flaming Lips aren't super obscure. I mean, they're not mainstream, but people have heard of them usually because of Do You Realize? Anyway, one time when I saw it was a Ken Jennings tweeted something that made reference to the Yeah 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 song by the Flaming Lips, and I just loved it, man. Like seeing a weird kind of C-list celebrity making reference to sort of a C-list band. That was cool. I think they might have been a little bit B-list for a while because of Miley Cyrus. I don't know. Yeah, Octopath Traveler looks exciting. And the other thing is, I learned today, and it's not news, but for some reason a a forum post drew my attention to it or something. There are plans to localize a fairly new Saga game to the Switch, and it's funny because Octopath Traveler is so much like a Saga game. Like you pick your story, it's got atypical development patterns, the graphics aren't exactly the big draw. There's different elements about it that make me think of Saga games. I like Saga games. I am a little bit of a Saga apologist. I played every story in Saga Frontier. I played half the stories at least. Oopsie doodle. Well, let's make the most of the situation here. I think I'm gonna smoke still. In Romancing Saga, the PS2 remake that was localized for North America. And then there was Unlimited Saga, which is often on worst game lists. I think it was okay. I think it's one of those things where if I had 100 extra hours in my average month to play games, probably like this, I would find a way to play Unlimited Saga and try to make it look good. There were good aspects. The music was good. The art was good. The underlying systems have a richness to them. They're just weird, and if you don't know what you're getting into with that game, you're going to hate it. It is a weird game. It is a weirdly designed game. But it's not all bad. That was about the worst of the Romancing Saga series as far as I've played. I've heard pretty terrible things about the original version of Romancing Saga for the Super Famicom. Like it was just a terrible experiment and kind of impossible to win at. But a lot of people like Romancing Saga 2, Romancing Saga 3. I've never played Romancing Saga 3, but that one looks beautiful. And you do hear a lot of people putting that. That's another one of those amazing Super Famicom games from sort of the golden age that never got localized for us. So there were a lot of those. There were a lot. How are those reflect rings going? Do I still only have 2? And what am I doing here? I only have 2. Man, what a drag. I was kind of ready to go after the boss. I guess I'm stacking up some run attempts. It's not that bad. I guess I won't have to grind for any staves of light, seeing as I can't use them, so that's a treat. In one of the next few dungeons, you get an item called you can certain enemies. Oh, that's a treat. Got my 3rd reflect ring, but also Bartz is dead. You can get an item called Staff of Light, and it's a very good item for that period in the game for a staff using character, which I have none of. Wow, level 31. That's kind of high, but I'm just gonna enjoy it. They're also really handy because if you don't mind chucking it at a boss or whatever, it casts the Holy spell, which can be incredibly powerful in the right place. A lot of people would use them against X-Death, so... That would have been really nice if that had a reflect ring in it. That guy somehow breaks his stop status super quickly. I don't know if that's a feature of the enemy or what. Whisperwind is fun. I kind of miss Final Fantasy IV where it was accidentally free. Let's attack these single guys. There's incels. Attack the incels. Hopefully I haven't said anything too offensive there. You never know what group is going to show up en masse and say they're offended, so. I don't say that to say those people have no right to be offended or anything, but incel is a strange group to have emerged, for me to have heard the term a few times in a row not long ago. Won't get into details of that incident. Maybe I should get into the details of that incident a bit more. No. No. I was drinking with that pop way over my head, so I didn't even see the end of that battle. But one thing I do know about it is there was no reflect ring. And I know that because this is one of those games with a separate treasure screen. Which is funny, you know, they had that in Final Fantasy 4, 5, not 6, yes 7. 7 had, I believe, 2 victory screens, at least when you won an item. And then I think 8 or 9, they started having like 3 screens that would pop up after every battle. Maybe I'm dreaming. I know I said I was going to fight the single incels. It's more a matter of laziness, not having to pick a different command. And I say that because Galuf's commands are, well, everyone's commands are set to memory, and so I kind of know if he smoked last time, he'll smoke by default the next time. And if he fought last time, he'll fight by default the last time. So whatever I did the last time is helping make the decision for my next time. But that's what's the word again, I'm a little underslept. I'm looking for the word for amazing threshold of laziness. Look at this. This is stupid. Why am I fighting these guys? Oh well. That's basically me just exemplifying the trope I'm trying to name here. Omega level. Like Omega level laziness. Not having to stop the sped up fight to push up. Should I do these ones? It's a back attack. They also have a Reflect Knight. I think I'll fight them. In part because I can mostly stun lock them. I don't remember having to use this many tents. This is already more time than it took, I think, to get my reflect rings in the GBA version. Or, this is the GBA version, but on my GBA SP. And that's funny to me because I didn't have fast forward there, and you can see I'm pretty liberally fast forwarding, so. I don't usually run this much. It's nice having the smoke ability in my GBA run. You know, I got Dancer Blue Mage, Dancer White Mage, so I don't have that. If I want to run, I have to do that long drawn-out shoulder button process. Guess whether the encounter is actually runnable or not, and so on. It'll be nice having all these extra levels in HP against Atomos, because those comets kind of suck. They kind of seriously suck. Fire doesn't seem so hellish to me. It does 600 damage. My monk is pretty useless and punches for hundreds. How much is monk still doing to that same enemy? Like 800? It's doing 600 to the heavily armored enemy. 1,000 to the little wimpy enemy. That time it was like 1,500 to the same enemy. This probably isn't very fun to watch for anyone ever, huh? What do we do about that? I'd really like to get this reflect ring and get out of here. That would help, I'm sure. Oh, Bart's died again. That kind of sucks. I mean, the stun locking is only mostly working, obviously, since he's dying a few times. Still probably better to revive him. Three reflect rings. So that time we didn't take any hit point damage, and someone gained a level. So that's a big treat. Bards sure have low hit points. I'm thinking, how much damage is that? How much damage are those comets gonna do? It's gonna be pretty awful. It does a fair range of damage. Comet, I don't think, is even affected by your statistics, really. It just massive damage within a range. I mostly found things at the top of that range when I was playing my last playthrough, so. Those ziggurat Gaigases, they have a neat design. An interesting thing about them is, I think it might be based on the exact same artwork by Yoshitaka Amano as the Hill Gaigas from Final Fantasy 1. If you line them up, it's like the same pose. Now, if you're looking at the sprite of a Hill Gaigas or Giant from Final Fantasy 1, you're going to say, what? Those don't look similar, but the pose is the same. The weird flaying, the balls hanging off the belt, the one knee up and the kind of upward palms. That's what it was doing in the other game. Why am I fighting this? I'm being a nincompoop here. So, I do check a few game FAQs forums every so often. I like my Final Fantasy 1 forum. I mostly lurk around the Final Fantasy 3 forum. I sometimes contribute on the Poll of the Day forum. I haven't really written any, or sorry, not Poll of the Day. The full Poll of the Day is full of idiots. The top 10 list one, which, by the way, you would think is full of idiots, and there are indeed idiots there, but they're not all idiots. So, the outward representation is definitely idiotic. Anyway, there's a few things I look at. but definitely Phantasy Star 4 is something I look at on there. There was a weird topic just recently about a dude who said he was playing on the PlayStation 4 Sega collection that was released recently. He says Chaz, the main character, takes 999 damage from just about everything. And I was doing the math, and there's kind of no way it can happen mathematically. You can't underflow defense. I don't know if you can underflow damage, but there should be no attack that has numbers high enough to do that. I don't know what the nature of that glitch could possibly be. It was just a kind of interesting gaming-related topic that popped up in an arbitrary forum I was reading. And I posted something in there. Someone said, like, that sounds like a challenge. I said, we should make a code that does it. And I'm sure you could. People have completed solos in that game, so playing with the main character taking 999 damage from every form of attack doesn't sound terribly unrealistic. It doesn't sound very fun, but it doesn't sound terribly unrealistic. I've done some weirder challenges for that game. That's the game where I've probably done the most variant play. I don't know how challenging it... Well, one of them was very challenging. It wasn't hard to win. It was novel, and you would think it was hard from the sound of it, but I didn't feel like, golly, this is hard every time I started playing. And I've talked about it before. It was called the No Hands Challenge. It wasn't playing with my feet. That would be a different sort of challenge. It was... the hand slots on every character's equipment list is empty. So that means no weapons and no shields. And that's really significant in that game, because that's one of those games where you can really kind of scam the system by equipping 2 shields for crazy godlike defense in certain parts. And there's also a lot of characters have weapon-based techniques. And so all those amazing techniques, like the main character's crosscut and such, those go out the window when you have no weapon equipped. As well, there's no such thing as an unarmed attack in that game, so you just can't attack with no weapon. So it removes a lot of your offensive options. In fact, one of the main characters, who's usually fairly good offensively, kind of the main/default... Oh, I wish that was a reflect ring. Main/default party healer is Rika, the Newman. And she has no offensive options at all when you play under those constraints. Oddly, I'm playing this game, and this is one of the 2 games I guess I've played the most on here, but I haven't played a lot of challenges. Last year was my first 4-job fiesta. It's the first time I've done anything other than a vanilla playthrough of this game where I intended to fully max out jobs by the end and beat the super bosses. This is effectively my 3rd fiesta playthrough, kind of. I've only finished one. And I guess I've learned a lot anyway, right? Like, I keep having these facts about how to handle areas and bosses. So, I don't know. I would like there to be a reflect ring in that battle. There wasn't. Among the things I know is, like, the item isn't statistically more likely to appear with specific encounters or specific regions of the tower. I'm just having different luck. It's not even terrible luck, based on what I know about the odds. It's just different luck. I certainly had very positive luck on my playthrough on the actual hardware recently. It's possible that the emulator doesn't do random numbers correctly or something like that. I don't think that's the case. Oh, those false positives, high potions, and Gaia gear. At least I'm getting lots of Reflect Knights now. The order you kill things doesn't matter. The amount you kill them by doesn't matter, unlike, you know, maybe one game, Final Fantasy X. Should probably be running, but it's a single guy, whatever. This is taking a lot longer than I wanted. I thought it'd be done World 2 by now. It's not crazy. There's... how many more dungeons? Kind of... after this, we go to... Gil's Cave, I guess. And we go to Moor Forest, possibly in the opposite order. Well, no, the actual forest we have to do in the other order. And then what they call Meat Castle. The game is being perfectly reasonable, but I just wish I had that reflect ring. Where's my bribe command at? Someone was describing challenge play for Final Fantasy I in an interesting way on that board recently. The discussion was about it's theoretically possible to beat Final Fantasy I. Never seen it done, even scouring YouTube. Well, I mean, I haven't scoured YouTube, but I would think I would run into it if it had been done. And what I'm speaking about, because I haven't yet introduced the topic, is it's theoretically possible to beat Final Fantasy I with a party of level 8 characters. And the reason it's never been done is because what it involves is getting 4 white mages to a precise level such that they can use the Fear spell and make at least one boss run away, a boss who's vulnerable to status effects, so the Fear spell. And if they run away, you don't earn experience from that boss, and you can finish the game one level lower than is otherwise possible. So there are people who have beaten the game with all characters at level 9, but no one has, as far as I know, beaten the game with all characters at level 8, but it's been shown to be theoretically possible. And the wiggle room is small. And someone was like, what's the interest in that? And like, it's been shown to be possible, but you kind of know exactly what you have to do. The planning is there, just what's fun about playing that way. And someone said the best challenges are the ones that force you to think about more and different options rather than the same options or a specific set of options. And I think they cited some of those Final Fantasy X challenges, all the no sphere grid things where, you know, you end up relying almost completely on the mix command, or if overdrives are allowed, specific sets of overdrives get you through. Forge Up Fiesta is interesting like that, if you're not playing Natural at least. Natural sucks, by the way. I don't think I want to do Natural ever again. But, you know, you see more class abilities and use more class abilities than you would otherwise find use for. Like, there's so many places you can use the Samurai's silly sword slap ability, Mineuchi, or however the heck it's pronounced. There's lots of places you can use that in a challenge like this, because you have a limited toolkit, and these things start to find homes, and you play in a different way, and it's not a bad way, and that's interesting. And so when I did my very first streamed run on Twitch was Final Fantasy I ban something, and so I went to the Final Fantasy I forum. I said, ban some aspect of gameplay, and go ahead and be silly about it, I said. And it was so interesting. The community was participating. They were interested in what I was doing because of that. And I got to play the game in a very different way because I had a bunch of unusual rules. But I wasn't restricted to like a small set of rules that were going to allow me to win, because that would be boring, following a set of instructions. Those challenges where the rules are subject to change are also interesting. And so there we're talking about these gratitude challenges where you have an audience and you need to only use items and abilities that they permit. That would be great, by the way, for streaming if you actually had an audience. If I had, say, I don't know, 20 people who would regularly watch me stream classic games, I'd be really interested in that. Setting it up so that everyone who came in could allow one aspect of gameplay. But doing it on that forum is okay too, because people can do it offline, and it's a good group. They're very knowledgeable about their stuff. They're not assholes. There's a lot of forums where people are assholes. You can't show up at the Final Fantasy VI board and say, Sabin's the best character. You just can't. Trust me, I did it in 2005. Didn't go well. I found out I was wrong. Hey, we're all done here. Oopsie. Level 33, goodness. Hopefully this isn't, you know, hard now. It might be. I am going to probably do this battle without fast forwarding because it carries risk. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know what Bart's utility is going to be in this battle. Requiem will not do any good. Will Swift Song be good? Swift Song might be good. This battle might also be really sucky. Yeah, see the damage range on it? It's crazy. Oh, Lena's the first to go. That's a bit of a drag. I would have preferred that to be basically anyone else. Oh, I shouldn't have done that either, though. Oh well, whatever. That's definitely my big damage dealer, if that weren't clear. Perfect. That solves at least 2 problems. I think it'll solve all the problems. I think I can probably hold down this button and win now, but I'm not sure. How much hit points does this guy have? Cool battle. Isn't this a cool battle? I mean, I'm making it sound pretty lame by holding this controller with the A button down, but the idea of your enemy is like an otherworldly portal. Oh dear, I forgot about that. That's not cool. Well, I'm not going to do it with her. No, not both of them. I don't think Bertz's haste song even, oh, goodness. Why does it have to be those two? Whatever. Maybe I should have thrown a shuriken instead. There we go. It was kind of close. I don't actually know how close exactly you have to be for things to go bad. I guess I've never had anyone devoured. Yeah, interesting fight. That was a cool fight. That would be great in like a tactics style game, right? You get sucked toward it and... This is a pretty long scene. And it has another one of those timed parts, so... It's really touching. You should watch it on your own sometime. I'll leave that as an exercise for you. That's what I say to my classes when I don't know what to do. When, like, the smart person in the class asks a really hard question, it's an exercise. Our friend is mourning. Let's have a sleep. Our map we found in the other world not only works on a different world that we didn't know existed, but it works underwater there. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna go to Moore first and do my fancy pants shopping, because I'm not a chump. There's really good black and white magic here. I don't know if there's much of anything here for my team, though. I guess there's a couple things I'm learning. May not want that. Diamond plate. I'm unlikely to want that, but I'm swimming in money, so whatever. I don't have that problem in real life. I thought there was something. Oh, these things. So, that's a good upgrade. For one thing, strong against things that are weak against air attacks. Might be time to put him in the front row. For the summer, it'll be handy later. And if things start absorbing air, that's going to be crappy, but the next dungeon we're going to, it's actually quite the opposite. There's magic. We don't need magic. Got an extra mangoche. Depending how you're playing the game, that can actually be really useful. Seems like those barrels should be important. One more piano. And then we get the ultimate song. Déchiré, je suis un homme partagé. Are these guys undead? I don't think they are, but let's find out. Yeah. You're pretty dishy right now, aren't you? And over here what I want is a new summon, which I think I'm in the right place for. Oh, that damage is a little better. Uh-oh. How about this, suckers? Dude. Oh, I forgot about this. Can't write a female. Wonder why that is. Interesting piece of Chocobo mythology. There's another one in my Game FAQ signature. It's a really obscure line from Final Fantasy Tactics. I think it's only in the War of the Lions version. It's interesting. Huh. Huh. Okay, so that's hitting. The left should be able to attack without a counter. I have a lot of gold needles, I forget why. I'm sure there's a reason for that. Oh yeah. Huh. Oh, I think I mass bought them because I was thinking of stone-type enemies. Oh well. So, done intentionally, but when I got to the stone enemies, I remember saying, that's too slow. So, that's me eating my words, I guess. Got an elixir out of that. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, healing in general hasn't been a problem. It's like the main issue with this team and not a problem at all, right? Kind of weird the way that happened. That's cool. So now we go to Sage Gill's cave. Could have gone there before. Felt like I should get all the goodies first. Yeah, just about there. It's surrounded by little pink plants. There we Um, this is actually, it's smart to save before I go in when I think about it. This is one of those places where I left my Game Boy on and fell asleep and woke up and my party was dead. That's why it's so important to save. I'm feeling a little tired. I wonder where the submarine ends up in World 3. How much of World 3 am I going to have to do? Probably a lot. If I recall correctly, there's really no treasure here. Until after this point. And I think the reason I remember that so well is because I did this twice recently. And I also remember this guy having a wind weakness. Those air knives really cut him on up. As you'll see, Galuf does 3,000 damage to him with a fight command, so... and that's the dude who can drop the Staff of Light. I don't remember these guys, whether they're interesting or not. Anything that drains you after you hurt it, though, kind of has a... there's a risk associated with it. Staff of Light. God damn it. I wait so long for Reflect Rings, and then I get the Staff of Light just like that. I'm gonna leave this place with like 4 Staves of Light, aren't I? Did some significant damage to Galuf there. Might be a good time for me to use a high potion, frankly. No reason to leave him in a danger position. I hate using a Phoenix down, so... Or I could use 10 regular potions. Got a weird piece of news today. Let's see who's watching me before I start spouting off stupid things. Couple people. Okay. Yeah, funny piece of news I got today was my wife's been trying to make more summer plans. We're at a point in our summer where we're finally bored. We've had a couple trips here and there. We spent some time at my parents' place, kind of wore out our welcome there. And we're home, so we're looking for things to do. And my wife had got in touch with my best friend's family. He has twin daughters. And asked when they could hang out. And so after a lot of waiting and not hearing anything and nagging, we find out that now we've got a plan. My best friend's wife is coming over tomorrow with the twin girls. And we didn't know why my best friend wasn't coming, but his wife and daughters were. And so I guess my wife must have asked her today via text, like, why isn't he coming? And she says it's because he's playing Call of Duty. So, like, my best friend, who I haven't seen in, you know, at least 3 months or whatever, is not coming to this meeting of our two families because he has a Call of Duty appointment. To some extent, I get it. But it's hard not to be insulted by that, you know? I wouldn't do the same. In fact, I wouldn't miss anything for video games, really. I mean, it's nice that I get to play, but I also don't cry about it. There's so many things that are so much more important. That second staff of light, you assholes. I like playing games. I don't make excuses to play them. I'm gonna be a good father, a good come on! I'm gonna be a good father, a good employee, even a good friend before I start, you know, giving myself a vacation to play video games because I otherwise can't, handle my life. I don't know what exactly that is. Ooh. You need that one there to be able to get out, because this door, one door at a time opens, depending on which chest has the rock in it. I guess we got just 3 staves of life. Oh, that's a nasty fight. Don't want to do that. I had said something about there being 3 dungeons left. I was counting them. That was one of them. That was pretty simple, wasn't it? No boss, no item I feel the need to grind for. There could have been some staves of light. Definitely don't need to grind for those. Ah, what am I doing here? Oh, north. So I guess that's the desert that I end up in later, huh? That's interesting. And Call of Duty, and you know, it's not like he's some competitive player or big name streamer. He is a regular person who probably to some extent does take pride in his... Why am I doing this when my boat's right there? Because I'm an nincompoop. Regular person, and I don't know. It's not often I get to spend time with my friends. Any invitation I got, I'd probably take. I don't even know the people who are watching me right now, but if you like invited me to your house tomorrow, I'd probably show up. You probably shouldn't do that. You would wreck my wife's plans. It's letting us in. It has given written consent. These guys have super low HP and super high evasion, which is interesting at least. It's not too bad for my team since my ninja hits twice, my monk hits twice. So I've got a good chance to take them out even with physical attacks. Oh, and this is another one of those areas where my bardiness is going to be amazing. My barditude. Oh, I thought it was, but it's not blocking anything apparently. Maybe it's just because of the gala jellies, I don't know. Okay. Those are flowers that are the kind you can't walk through, like on that one island in Breath of the Wild. My son loves that. He will go specifically to Magda's shrine to avoid walking on the flowers. It's amusing, by the way. There's a lot to appreciate about Breath of the Wild. It's funny the people who try to be critical of it. I think mostly they're just being contrarian. You can have some criticisms of it, but dang, there's a lot of magic there. You can pretty much just choose the thing you want to do and do it. This is not going to be a good fight. Let's get out of here. Maybe I'll just escape from everything, actually. I don't know. Do I need anything here? It's not like I'm under-leveled, certainly. I like getting all the treasure chests. I think I got them all. Those guys are nice because you just got your Faraga, and you can really nuke the crap out of that battle. Yeah, very low HP. You can see 200 damage just took them out, so. And yeah, things can be stun locked here, but I think the Gala jellies must be immune to it. And the fact that they absorb elemental damage is also kind of sucky. I wonder if there was a time in my life when I would be like, I am missing this time with my friends to play games. Usually playing games was what I did with my friends. Maybe my friend is just upset because we don't live that way anymore. And he and I both, right? Like we were together every weekend playing games, mostly in my basement. And that was our life for a very long time. But I've never done. Apparently, this is a thing. Like I keep seeing it on like polls and stuff. But the thing where you call in sick to play a game, I've never done that. Now, when I'm sick, I often play games. I think I've even streamed one time when I was off sick, but that wasn't, you know, like I went off sick to stream. That's not a thing. I'm sick almost all the time. It should be noted. Like. I have this celiac disease. Every so often I get talking about it on here, but it's like I have diarrhea like 50% of the time, and it's manageable diarrhea that I, you know, can get used to not having, and then it comes back. And before I understood I had celiac disease, it was like a year of diarrhea. So. I talk about super cool things on my stream sometimes, like how much diarrhea I have. Most people come here for the games and stay for the diarrhea. If not the literal kind, certainly the verbal kind. I think we'll just stick with running. These battles are... Oh, that guy I would like to have fought. I should think more in my life. That's what I've learned. Here's a fun thing. The same friend I've been talking about, we loved always watching The Simpsons and other stupid shows for a long time. Like, I mean, The Simpsons isn't it? Uh-oh. I didn't mean to go this far. Hope I didn't miss anything important. I don't think I did, though. They do us a favor by not putting significant point of no return items in, well, items in significant items in point of no return areas. So we used to watch The Simpsons, we used to watch Duckman, we watched a lot of dumb shows, and we'd do the thing where we would quote them back to each other all the time, right? That's normal. It's kind of funny because we don't really watch The Simpsons anymore. I don't even know who watches The Simpsons anymore. It's not very good, and I think people all know it, that it was good once and it no longer is. Anyway, why is this so slow and weird? Now fast forward, it feels like it's about normal speed. Why was I talking about The Simpsons? I don't know. Recently my son did that to me. My 6-year-old son. He's seen about like 1 and then 2 half episodes of The Simpsons. One time he was watching it with my mom, which was kind of strange. Not very much. And he just, one day recently, he just started laughing out loud by himself. And I said, "What are you laughing about?" He says, "The Simpsons." And he describes the scene to me, and I don't remember it. But it was just funny, because I do that all the time. I just remember something silly and start laughing out loud. My wife finds it pretty funny. I think. It's funny to me that I laugh at myself, and so that makes me laugh at myself more. Not really. It's just... yeah. It was more level gaining, just what we needed. Isn't there a treasure chest around here with super valuable ash? You know, a burned down forest is an interesting terrain in a game such as this. I don't recall any other games where I've walked through specifically a forest that has recently been scorched. Oh, I don't want to actually do this, but whatever. Anyway, my point in telling you about my oldest son spouting Simpsons quotes at me is basically that my best friend, who isn't coming to my house tomorrow to play Call of Duty, has been replaced. I bought a bunch of wizard hats and didn't put them on. Not wizard hats, sage miters. Man, I would have been so much stronger. I don't even want that. And I don't think I want that either. I'd rather have the power. I need to keep those things on. Basically, that shopping trip was just a huge waste for everyone except Bart's, who it perhaps marginally benefits. Yeah, smoke. Tonight we'll smoke them out. We can fight these ones because we can stun lock them. We will only fight the enemies who we can really just bend over and have our way with. That's the kind of fight we like. I've used a lot of tents. I'm too tense. When I say bend over and have our way with, is that the same level of offensiveness as when someone uses the word rape to describe, you know, success in Call of Duty or something stupid like that? Because it really is the same thing. I should really not say that. But that's the idea I wanted to get at anyway, to be perfectly honest. Is the word so powerful? I don't know. We'll leave that for the history books. Uh-oh, I'm going to need a new sidebar. I think I might have it mostly ready. I think I might have to just change an image. I'm not going to do it during the stream, though. Do, 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 do. Oh! Oh crap, hang on, hang on. I have a special thing for this. Look, look, look. We do this. We... Oh, I had flame rings on! What a nincompoop I am. Okay. We do exactly what I did already. And that is... wear flame rings. Okay, here we go. For real this time. This should be an okay fight. I have flame rings on, so what I want to do is get the top one critical and let it heal me like crazy. That's the hope anyway. Might be a bit optimistic. I forget if you can actually get Katablapaz to work here. I don't think I need to, though. I think it'll be easy enough once I get that top crystal spamming Faraga. It was nice doing this with a white mage, you know? You got Protect and Shell. It's probably a good thing. Ooh, 30 hit points. There we go. So look, that guy does that, while we wail on each other crystal, is the plan. And Ferris is going to screw things up for us, in all likelihood. Should be an easy fight. I'm gonna get constant high-powered cures. Plus my regen, plus my golem. Golem's gonna fade after a few more hits, but... I'm not ignoring something stupid like Galuf is actually healing them, or... Wow, that's strong. Okay, good. Plus my epic powered sylphs here. What's happening with them is I need a non-elemental attack to use reliably because I don't remember all the weaknesses. In that way it's lazy, but I don't... The motivation isn't the laziness this time. It's the forgetfulness. But also it's perfectly good. It gives me that very minor cure for what it's worth. Oh, that one's not as strong. This battle can be really hard if you're not especially well prepared. Even bad luck can really wreck it, but should be okay with the way things are set up here with the flame rings. Yeah, we're doing just fine. Golem is busted. Maybe I'll recast Golem. I don't even know if I'm going to take more physical. Oops. Oh, interesting. Oh. We'll need to fix that. You summon Golem. You need different weapons. It'll be cool if I get Sword Dance. That's why I'm doing that. It's not cool to get Tempting Tango, though. I've been seeing a lot of the dance moves in my other playthrough. Getting Sword Dance is a very good feeling. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Can't have him doing much of anything, so. Oh, that'll be the end of that. No? Okay. That's cool. And this guy can't hurt us and is at least half dead, so that was successful. I can normally speak. I'm not at my best. But, yeah, normally I speak. That was fun. Okay, we have a big ol' scene now. And it's really important, and you're not going to get to see it very well here with me. You spoony bard. For some reason, well, I mean, I think it's probably pretty clear why, but this does remind me of that. Phoenix down, elixir, anything. Plot death reversal machine. Funny all the mountains blocking the Winddrake in this world. They make it pretty hard to navigate, and I guess it's intentional. Do, 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 do. Like all those strength points. Actually, you know what? This whole dungeon, it's nice to keep the flame ring on. Because there are some unpleasant surprises when you don't. There can be. There are red dragons just lying around in certain places, so... Does that fountain still work? I can tell you there's a certain event after which it does not. I'm avoiding the big spoilers, you hear me? I'm all professional. Totes profesh. Ooh, goodies. Oh, baddies. Does this continue to work here? I guess so. These are not wolves that are blind, these are wolves that blind you. Learned that the hard way. They drop eye drops though, they're very considerate. Very considerate wolves that are blind. I mean, that are not blind. Yeah, I think in hindsight, learning Constrict might have been a bad idea. Whatevs. I started abbreviating a lot in the last couple of minutes, did you notice? It wasn't on purpose or anything. It was, I said totes profesh, and then I just said whatevs. I'm saving a lot of time, especially now that, well, maybe less so, now that I've spent this time describing it. Whatever. Whatevs. I'm glad to skip this scene, because it's just drawn out, but there is this part I like here. I see Grandpa and a wolf man. It must be Kelger. And then a door from Chrono Trigger opens. Everyone's power. The castle changes to look like this. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Happy music. Congratulations, you're in hell. Is there anything notable about these guys? They don't like wind or air knives. That's pretty clear. There's exactly one switch, and it's to in the whole dungeon. I think there's the one switch, and it's only used to take down that one single wall. It's pretty stupid. My new ninja is pretty much as good as the old one. I think it has slightly worse hit points, maybe very slightly worse attack power, but significantly higher agility, so that's nice. There will not be a lot of other turnover. Yeah, that Forbidden Run for the 4-Job Fiesta was announced this year, and that is... oh, I don't want to do this battle. Nice to get hit by a fire attack, though. That is, when you get to the end of the game, you lose a job. With another little spin on it, and that it allows the jobs from the new versions. That does not excite me in the least. And I don't know what kind of maniac finds that interesting. But I guess if you've done this enough times, you want to try everything. My run that ended up with Dancer, Blue Mage, Dancer, White Mage, that's a Chaos run. That's straight up Chaos. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need to try something else. You can get so many different things with Chaos, and I don't know what else you would possibly need to do. I think I should do a normal, frankly. There's a goodie down here where you walk on the lava and you get hurt an awful lot, and no one in my group can use it, so I'm gonna just not get it. I'm gonna feel a little silly about that, because I like getting nice things. But it'll be okay. See, over there? You'll find that after I got those reflect rings, I've been able to keep a much better pace. Uh-oh, how am I going to do this? Oh. Ah, jackanapes. Can I run? No? That's weird. I don't like that this is a back attack. Oh dear. This might not go very well. Oh, it went okay. Hey! The monsters here, I believe, are all monsters that appear in other parts of the game. So in my Game Boy game, I was interested about this and decided I should keep doing this until I encountered everything possible. That's not actually important. We'll encounter all these guys eventually. Ah. But for some reason I have terrible, terrible timing today. There we go. And I don't need to go back and forth learning blue magic. Oh, that's what's significant about the magic dragon, is it has a bunch of blue magic. And it was some blue magic I hadn't learned when I was playing this recently. What's my in-game time at? 15 hours. I haven't played nearly 15 hours, and I think y'all are aware of it. Oh, you tricked me, you stupid wall. I probably don't want to actually fight this thing. That works here? Oh man, now I feel dumb for not doing that from the beginning. It was much easier than last time I fought one of those guys. The Warlocks have an interesting item they drop, but it's also one of those ones that I can't use. They have a thing called the Power Staff, I believe, and that is allows anyone to inflict Berserk, or anyone who can use a staff can inflict Berserk. Has some useful applications. This is the part of the building where you start running into red dragons just at random, which is kind of crazy sounding. I don't like being on lava. Now, thankfully this part, I did it recently enough that I can probably kind of fumble my way through. That was a lot of high potions. Let's see. This row here, I know has just nothing on it. So I can do this. Oh, Twin Lance, that's nice. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. And this will take me to Carbuncle, I think. I don't remember how to beat him. There's when he changes phase, you can petrify him. That's his shtick. I'm immune to a lot of his spells, though. I could probably just brute force him. He's hard to hit. He defends really well. I don't know. And then again, I got a monk. Those criticals can go through. Does he use physicals at all? Because I could use Golem. I don't suppose that happens too. My beard thing, whatever this is on my face, hasn't really been going well. I'm considering getting rid of it. I mean, I do that every so often, right? Look at that. That's sweet. That's fun. Got a nice new summon. That can actually be a useful one. So, is there actually... Oof, that was dangerous. That was also dangerous. Don't do what I just did. Oh, that was not worth 8,000. What am I going to do here? Use a bunch of elixirs? What a waste. Oh well, I'm rolling in money. I really should have bought more high potions. I don't want to be caught with my hit points or pants down in this area, so... No. We need to get out of here. Oh my goodness. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Run. Oh, that was sucky. Those are expensive too. I want to have some. I'm gonna. At least that one sort of makes sense because there's MP. Okay, here we go. Yuck. Now I'll walk to a save point without any further encounters, right? Which one of these 3 tiles can I step on? That one. I don't remember which ones entirely are pitfalls, but I remembered certain safe spots, right? So. This is me doing my hit point recovery routine. That's about as good as it gets. Why did I do that? I'm a fool. Okay. Don't walk onto that one skull. Cool. Oh, this save point is just an asshole. It's hard to say who is worse, this save point or Metamorpha. I'm going into the X-Death. Oh, it's not the X-Death battle, it's this first. And we do want to do this, I think. Strong hits. Do I have something like a remedy yet? I don't. I don't have any means to cure old. That's a drag. That's making Ferris more useless than normal. This isn't an especially hard fight in the scale of Gilgamesh fights. So, yeah, probably shouldn't be fast forwarding. I always say we should listen to the music. So yeah, we got a routine here. The ninja's attacking, not really any other options. Could throw something, but it's not going to be strong without a secondary. Pertz is doing Swift Song because he doesn't have much of another contribution possible. Summoner is using Titan, which is currently my strongest offense. Ferris is a piece of garbage. I feel silly doing this, but I don't... Well, maybe I do have another option. I don't think I'll need that many high potions for X-Death. I might need none. We'll see. Now we fight like men, and ladies who dress like men. For Gilgamesh, it is morphing time. The fight won't last much longer, because he has a weird bow out here, in a way where it feels like this battle does not prepare you for the next battle. But maybe that's because they're sequential, you know, it's supposed to put some pressure on you. Oh yeah, and this part's just silly. Ooh, Knight's critical for 296 Ferris. You know, Ferris has not been as bad as I thought, which is such a fantastic review. Things I was saying earlier about quoting The Simpsons, for some reason I had something stuck in my head, and it's something my friend used to always say, and I don't really know why this line stuck out so much to him and now to me. And it was from like the second Christmas episode, the one where Bart steals a picture frame from the mall. Actually, no, the picture frame was at the end. I forget what he was stealing from the mall. The Mortal Kombat style game, I believe. Bone Storm? Bone Squad? I don't know. That was one of the gags. But the security guy at the store, at the try and save, says, "If I wanted smoke blown up my ass, I'd be at home with a carton of cigarettes and a short length of hose." And it's a really random line that my friend, for some reason, found reason to repeat whenever he could. Don't ask me how you work that into the average conversation, but he did. This is gonna be crazy. We're gonna do reflect rings. We don't have... the nice thing about reflect rings with this party is there's no risk of reflecting your healing magic at the bad guy. Because I got no healing magic. I'm trying to see the good here, I guess. Maybe I even want the dancing dagger for that reason. May as well. Bart's isn't going to be contributing with the air knife, really. For that matter, I can put him in the back row. Maybe that makes sense. I think that we're going to do that. For that matter, image makes more sense than smoke, but I don't know if I'm actually going to stop to use image, so let's not worry about it. We're going to use Golem to nullify most of the physicals as best we can. And we got reflect rings to take care of the magic. I said most of the physicals, didn't I? Oh, that's annoying. You waste one of your turns, I waste one of my turns, and it's a wash. Them some nasty physicals he's got. That doesn't get rid of Golem, does it? Sure hope not. Oh, that's nasty. We will call the super powerful Sylph and see if it will heal our injuries. No, not really. Okay, let's start throwing strong items. This is about the right time to do it. It'd be nice to do it with more things that, you know, we can get more of if we wanted to. We'll get more partisans later, and we just got it. It's strong. 2,000, not bad. I don't want to get hit with a meteor. In real life or otherwise. I haven't been buying a lot of swords. These weapons are all really weak. Well, let's use shurikens. Those are still pretty strong. Not way stronger than a physical. I don't like Earthshaker. I hope that doesn't come back. We don't have a ton of good healing options unless we're going to use elixirs on ourselves, so... We'll probably need another round of Golem soon. I just wish I knew when it was done. Yeah, okay, the physical is not bad on the ninja. I'm playing it dangerous with these low HP numbers, but I don't have any mass heal options, so... I'm gonna try whipping out a Golem and see what happens. Okay, good. Good timing. Because I believe Golem doesn't show up if you've already got it in effect. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But pretty much once a meteor comes, we're screwed, right? There's kind of a point where he hits 7,000 HP or something. I think it might be 7,000. And then... oh. Because he goes through phases, and... the last one is nasty, but I seem to have somehow done it with minimal fuss. This is gonna be fun. When I was playing on my Game Boy, I went ahead and walked around like everywhere just to see where I could get to, and there's nothing. They did such an amazing job designing the worlds of this game to work with what they had planned. It's really cool what they did. It's really cool what they did. This game has a lot of good aspects, to put it simply. This might be a nice time for elven mantles, when I think about it. You can keep your power armlet. Oh, that was an equip mistake. Okay. Yeah. This is pretty much what I want. So here we are. We're in a different world. Not spoiling anything. Yeah, I'll save a couple steps closer to the castle. This looks good. I think that this is a good natural stopping point. Hey, World 2 went well. Did it in 2 sessions. The most painful part was grinding for reflect rings. And I would say it paid off, judging by how that battle went, by the way. So that's good. Thanks for joining me. I've just saved, so everything's cool. Let's see, is there someone who I can host? I don't think I care about anything anyone in the world is doing. Do I? Some kind of Zelda thing happening. Let's pop that on and see what happens. Let's see. Who is this? I don't know that person. Okay. Let's see what happens. Yeah, thanks for joining me.